Hey peeps, welcome back. We're talking Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 40. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. All right, you guys, it is Tuesday. I'm just now watching Love After Lockup. If you watch my Real Housewife videos, you already know I had some contractors here Thursday and Friday. Thursday, they busted a pipe in my basement and flooded the basement. They came back Friday to make sure the fix worked and busted the pipe again, and water was running in my basement for 2.5 hours. So things have been real crazy and chaotic here. As we speak, I have a dehumidifier and huge fans going in the basement. All right, so this was the season finale. I also want to say next week's episode will also be late when I post my video. It's my annual family's girls trip. So the video for next week's first episode of Life After Lockup, I'll probably post it Tuesday or Wednesday. Thank you for understanding. All right, so moving on to the show. Bianca and Daniel. The show picks up right where it left off. Bianca and Daniel's family are waiting outside. They are very impatient, ready for him to come out, which is totally understandable. Anyway, he comes out. Bianca rushes up, gives him a big hug and kiss. And the hug and kiss was a little awkward and a little long in front of the whole family. I was thinking, get a room. Anyway, she had several complaints again. Complaining about his family being there. She wants to spend time with him by himself. And you know what? These people were his family way before he ever met you. Okay, get over yourself. Then, of course, they're getting together to have a little lunch. And they're in the car on their way to the restaurant. And she's already talking about babies and marriage. Daniel seems like a nice guy. We didn't get to spend much time with him, but he seems like a pretty nice dude. His parents, they love him so much. His parents have been through hell. They have already lost one child to fentanyl. They just want to wrap their arms around him and hold on to him for dear life. You know what I mean? They're nervous about their child being freshly out of jail and being with Bianca, who's young, immature, and extremely selfish. Anyway, Daniel says that he came up with a biological father who was absolutely all about addictions. He was into alcohol and drugs and things like that, and it kind of trickled down through the family. And he started off drinking, then he went to heroin, then he went to meth, and things just kept getting, progressively worse. He went to jail on a DUI charge for 5 years because he also had charges for burglary, breaking into people's cars. A lot of times when people have addictions, they have to have a way to get the money to pay for, these drugs or the alcohol that they need. So a lot of times, of course, they resort to crime. Daniel says that when Bianca came into his life, it was a very low point, and he really was so happy to have her, happy to, be able to love somebody and have somebody love him. So he kind of jumped the gun and he asked her to marry him because he didn't want to lose her. However, since they're in the car headed to the restaurant, she's talking about marriage and babies. She said she'll wait a year even though she doesn't want to, but she won't wait 2 years. She's really just wants to wait 6 months. And I said, this shows her immaturity. First of all, the man has a serious addiction to alcohol, heroin, and meth. He's been in jail for 5 years, and he's not completely clean because he fell off the wagon and he got a little fentanyl while he was in jail. So why would you want to rush and have a baby and get married? He needs to be out. He needs to get reacclimated. He needs to be able to do the steps to make sure that he's able to maintain his sobriety. He also needs to find a job. He may also need some sort of counseling. His father was an addict. He's an addict. His brother was an addict. His brother died. Give this man some time. Give this man some grace. She's not ready. He's not ready. And I'm glad that he's able to say that he's not ready, but I need him to tell her that he's not ready. He calls his parole officer because he's supposed to go to a halfway house called Exes. But of course, he wants to stay with her. And she says, well, I've been through so much. I've given up so much. I moved all the way here. I left Florida. The parole system, the government system, the state system doesn't give a shit about you moving from Florida. Okay, what they care about is that he's not out here drinking and driving, killing anybody, killing himself, or robbing people. You know what I mean, girl? Gone some damn where. So when they end up at the lunch, I appreciate his mother. She was outright straight up. She says that she's concerned, she's worried about him living with her because she likes to drink and party. And you know, she's still incredibly childish and silly. She says she's going to meet friends there. She's going to want to go out and hang out with her friends and have mimosas. And she's going to come home drunk. Girl, listen. His mother went through her husband with his addiction, her 2 sons with addiction. She has lost 1 son. She is barely hanging on. She does not want to lose this boy. And I totally get it. I totally understand. I really wish that he would have just went home with his family. I think that Bianca is disrespectful. I don't think that she's taking his addiction seriously at all. I don't know, something about her that annoys the hell out of me. You know, and we only got to see him for a small amount of time, but he seems as if he's level-headed and he's ready to hit the ground running. And I guess we'll have to see how it works out. They're going to be on the next season, and I'm wishing him the best, but I have a feeling that they're not going to work. They're not going to make it, and she's going to be a problem. Zariah and Troy. All right, so you know, Troy's been out for 5 days, and that has been the longest 5 days. Like, I am miserable. It's just hard to believe that it has only been 5 days. Well, Troy's daughter, little Troy, arrives with her mom, Yana, and there was no conversation between Yana and Zariah, whatever. I think it's Zariah. Anyway, if I was married to Troy, I would have walked up to Yana and said, hi, I'm Zariah. It's very nice to meet you. I'm sorry that it's taken so long for us to meet. You know, say something. The way it was handled, her insecurities were just reeking out of her. I did not love it. To be honest, I didn't love the way Troy was speaking with little Troy. The way he was talking to his daughter about Zariah and her mother. I just thought, you know what? This is crazy. She's 7 years old and that's grown folks' business. Why are you having this conversation with her? It was just too much. He was telling her, you don't have to call her mom, but I really want you to build a relationship with her. You know, your mom's disrespectful to her or something. Boy, don't do that. This woman has been raising this child for 7 years while you were locked down for doing some bullshit. What you won't do is come in here and try to disrespect this lady, you know. And when he introduced her to Zariah, she put out her hand for a handshake. She shakes Zariah's hand, and then he's like, well, can you give her a hug? He, you know, pushes her to hug Zariah a couple of times. I just thought it was a bit much for me. I think he's going to have a hell of a fight on his hands. Between the two of them, Zariah and Yana, he about to catch hell. Troy was talking to Yana and he wanted to take little Troy to Syracuse, and she said no, not yet. She said, you know, you don't even know Zariah really. And little Troy doesn't know her either. She's not, you know, coming to Syracuse. And the only reason why I'm letting her stay and hang out with you here today is because the rest of your family is here. And I don't blame her. We have seen the way Zariah behaves, and it's absolutely a hell no for me. Because first of all, you've been in jail for 7 years. My daughter doesn't even really know you. So you damn sure best believe that I'm not going to allow her to come and stay with you and Zariah. Not only that, Karen was on the phone with her when Zariah was showing her ass at the house. Absolutely not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Not my daughter getting in the middle of y'all. Both of y'all are out of y'all's damn minds if you think that my daughter is coming to stay there. At some point, Zariah says something about she didn't want to ruin the day. Girl, too damn late. Your behavior is disgusting. He wasn't even able to have a side conversation with her without you being angry and upset about it. They have a child and she's small. She's not even old enough to have a cell phone. So it's not as if she could call her daddy whenever she felt like it. She has to go through her mother. One thing is for sure, I'm never going to show the other woman that I'm insecure or worried about her. Not at all. Zariah is a ball of insecurity. She is a clinger. Her behavior is over the top. I think that Troy spent a lot of time overcompensating because Zariah is so insecure. He spent most of the time trying to make sure that she felt comfortable and she wasn't worried or scared about Yana, which is, a little bit too much. I don't know. I think the best thing out of this couple being on the show was meeting Karen. Karen is too damn much, but she was funny as hell. Zariah and Troy are still together. They're planning their wedding. They want to have a wedding in front of all their family and friends. They have that gummy line coming out called Black Karen. Listen, they're going to be on Life After Lockup, so I guess we'll see the rest of this craziness. Kim and Joey. Honey, Kim is still a fool. Joey is out at the park trying to meet up with his ex-girlfriend, talking about he needs closure. Boy, if you don't get the hell out of here with this. Anyway, the girl stands his ass up, and I think he was brokenhearted. I think he was devastated that she stood him up, talking about, I just wanted to break up with the bitch. I don't know why she kept calling me anyway, and she probably can't show up because she got a boyfriend or a fiance or somebody that she's cheating on. She always cheating. Boy, please. If you really wanted to cut off contact with her, you could have sent her a text message and said, please don't reach out to me again. By the way, you are blocked. Then you could have blocked her on everything and moved on with your life. Quit playing with us. You wanted to see that girl. And I think you will be seeing that girl. You just didn't want to do it while the cameras was on you. Full of shit. She's sitting at the house worried about if he's going to come. Oh my God, it's our engagement party. It's our engagement party. You should have canceled. Or you should have turned that into a I finally came to my damn senses party. Now let's enjoy this charcuterie board and somebody turn on a good damn song. This dude shows back up at her house talking about, well, let's just go to the party. Let's keep going like we were doing before. We both love each other. We were happy. And she's okay. Really? Really? Then as they're walking out to the cars, he wants them to take 2 separate cars to the engagement party. And she says, what? I said, girl, please. He wants to take 2 separate cars in case that girl calls him and decides she can meet up. He'll be able to leave and go hang out with her. That's just my opinion. I don't know for sure. I don't know a lot of engaged couples that show up to the engagement party in separate cars. I really don't. Then Tatum shows up, her cousin. Now, Tatum and Joey used to date back in the day. And Joey cheated on Tatum with Kim, which I think is real nasty, real trashy like, because Tatum mentioned that her and Kim were best friends and blood cousins hanging out together, but she was, banging Joey. And I think that's real nasty, real trifling. But, karma never forgets an address. Anyway, Tatum comes in looking awkward as hell, tears in her eyes, hugs Kim and says she doesn't feel like this is right. This isn't right. And she wants to talk to her. And I'm saying to myself, well, what is it? What is it? What happened? I'm thinking that she's about to say something like, oh my God, girl, she ran into Joey at a bar and he was hugged up with somebody. No, she said he whistled at her on her way in the building. I stopped and said, really? Girl, you are crying and shaking. He whistled? Okay, now whistling would have got me. Okay, I would have been mad as hell about this as well. However, she said it just felt icky. She said, I could just feel his eyes on me right now. And then she asked Kim if she could leave. She told her that I don't think he's going to do right by you. I think you're going to get hurt. And Kim doesn't want to listen. She's acting as if Tatum is just making all this up. Joey is such a good man. His mom said, oh, just, he doesn't want to be with that girl. He loves you. He's dedicated to you. He's committed. I think his mama just don't want him back at her house. He's not dedicated and committed. He's a liar and a cheater. And he steals people's identities. Okay, well, that's what they said he was arrested for. Anyway, She tries to act like, oh, he wouldn't do that. He didn't whistle. No, he didn't do that. Her cousin or friend Ashley said, yes, he is lying. He absolutely did whistle at her on the way in, and it was weird. It was odd. It was creepy. I think that he's absolutely disgusting, and he has proved that he is disgusting because he tried to say that he thinks that Tatum was just acting like that because he was her first love, because he took her virginity. That's disgusting. Why did you have to say that? And Kim sat there looking stupid. Listen, I think that Tatum should be happy that things didn't work out between her and Joey. And I think she should allow Kim to have it. Yes, have him love it, honey. All right, don't call me when he fucks you over. I don't want to be bothered. And Kim made some kind of comment that she didn't know if she could really trust Joey. So you don't know if you could trust him, but you're still going to marry him. You're spending all of this time with him, all of this money on him. You bought him a car, and you also allowed him in your home with your small children. You should never let someone in the home with your children, no matter how young or old they are. You should always put them first. If you don't trust this dude, he shouldn't be in your home. Kim is just wrong in every way. They are still together, I guess, and they're going to be on the next season. We're going to watch Kim and see her puddle of tears because this dude is not right and he's not going to do right. Shantae and True. God. We get the opportunity to meet Pepper. Pepper is the lady that True is going to be staying with when he's on house arrest. She says that, they're just friends. She's not a very social person. She doesn't like a lot of people over at her house. So True shouldn't expect to have a whole bunch of company running in and out of her house. He lets us know on house arrest, he's only allowed to leave the house on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to 12. Otherwise, he'll be at Peppa's house with a ankle monitor on, probably bothering the hell out of this woman. Shantae tries to act hard all the time. Oh, I don't know if I want to be bothered with him. Oh my gosh, I just don't know if I could trust him. Oh, I just don't think I can let him back into my life. Oh, the best place for him to be would be at my house. Really? Really? It's just hard to believe that she is a mom and a grandmother, and she is this gullible and this crazy that she keeps dealing with this man. Then she finds out that True is cheating on her, which I don't know why it's a surprise. You know he's cheating on you. You know he's doing whatever it is he wants to do. He ends up getting out of the car, forgetting that his Bluetooth is attached to the car, and she hears bits and pieces of a conversation where he's going to pick up some other girl. He then comes out and tells her pretty much, yes, he was having the sex with this girl, but he was protected. And she says, well, I'm just going to drive and drop his stuff off. She goes over to his house to drop off a little bag the size of a Walmart grocery bag. I said, why do that? You only did that because you wanted to get back together. You wanted to see him. Because if you were really serious, talking all that shit, trying to act hard in the car in front of your friend or whoever the hell it was, you would never have gone by there to drop off that little grocery bag of shit. You would have threw that shit out your window and drove your ass home. You would have took the 5-hour trip home, blocked him on everything, and moved the fuck on. But she didn't do that. She gonna go back to his place and then sit out in the car. I think she was waiting for him to run out to the car and beg her to take him back. I said, that's stupid. He's not going to beg you to take him back because he already knows that you're going to allow him to do whatever the hell it is he wants to do to you. And you're going to take him back every single time because you're desperate and alone. And she makes some stupid comment about she never cheats on him. She actually tells people that she's married to keep them from bothering her. I call cap. Who the fuck is bothering you? No damn body. Because you best believe if some other dude was approaching you, you would have probably left True already. My advice to you is to open your eyes all the way. When you talk to people, look people in the eye. Maybe you'll be able to see the bullshit. I don't know. I think I'm more angry with her than I am with him. He is a child. He went to jail as a child. He came out of jail as a child. He is showing you who the hell he is, and you continue to deal with him. This boy has no business with you. He needs to be out in the street doing whatever the hell he wants to do, just not with you, because he's not honest, he's not committed, and he doesn't give a shit. Then she says, well, he told me to just sit, and pretty much wait for him. He's out here sowing his wild oats. Why not? Because you are anyway. I mean, you sat and wait for him while he was in jail, and now you're sitting around waiting for him while he's still doing whatever the hell he wants to do anyway. So, what's different? Doing all that damn complaining and you're still together. She mentioned that she lost the twins, which, remember, I told you that, spoiler alert, a few weeks ago. They're engaged and she's pregnant again. They posted some of their engagement pictures online. I mean, they're on the next season of Life After Lockup. I'm just sick of them. I think that she should cut her losses and move on. This is not going to work. I don't give a damn how many rose petals. I don't give a shit of how many laughs and kikis you have. This guy doesn't give a damn. Hope and Arthur. Lord. So it picks up right where it left off. Arthur has been out of jail for 10 weeks. Hope's grandfather pulls Arthur to the side. He asked him, "Are you in a gang?" And Arthur said no. And he said, all right. He wanted to make sure that Arthur wasn't in a gang. Arthur says in his confessionals that he decided to take the high road when Hope's family was grilling him because he knows that they're going to see who he really is later and they will have to eat those words. Later, when he's talking to Hope, he lets her know, hey, your family was really grilling me really hard and you never jumped in to support me or anything. And she doesn't really care. And she doesn't think that she did anything wrong. She says, well, what was I supposed to do? Talk for you? I can't really talk for you. I think that she's absolutely out of her damn mind. You want this man to get on one knee and propose to you, but you can't stand 10 toes down for him. You can't step in and say, hey, come on, you guys are going a little too hard. He's only been out of jail for 10 weeks. And, he has a lot of things that he needs to focus on. We're going to get there, save some of your questions for the next time we meet or something. She just wasn't there for him. And she's still asking him about marrying her. Girl, go the fuck on. Anyway, we already know Arthur got out of jail. They were able to drop the charges. Allegedly she shot herself and then tried to blame it on Arthur, and there wasn't enough evidence, so they dropped the charges. Arthur is out. Their relationship is completely over. Personally, I would like to see Arthur go be with his family. You've been in jail for a very long time. You have PTSD. You need to be with family, be with friends, get back into church the way you want to be, and seek therapy. Arthur deserves better than this. I think that we should be done on all the Love After Lockups with Arthur, but I guess we'll just have to keep watching and see what happens. Now, honey, listen. Julian and Christina. I think Julian might have been on to something when he said that she should take an extra shift and not do this stand-up, because Chris 50 it just didn't come out right. She gets up there on stage and boy, oh boy, it was pretty bad. And I absolutely felt bad for her. She had a little heckler in the crowd and it was bad, but I think the problem is I believe that she thought that comedy was easy. It's not. Most of these famous comedians that we see that actually make it, they have been honing their craft for years. And it is a lot that has to be done. You have to have your own style, your own flow. The comedic timing has to be on point. And you can't just stand up there telling your, bank robbery tales and think that these people are going to find this shit funny. No, ma'am. I did feel bad for her when she starts crying on stage. She puts the mic down on the piano real loud. She runs into the bathroom and just plops right down on the toilet. I said, what? No, ma'am, you never sit down in the public restroom. I don't give a shit. You just don't do it. Anyway, she's in there crying. She just wants to go home. Julian had showed up. He was a little bit late, but he showed up and he tried to smile and laugh and egg her on, in the audience. She was bad. It was bad. But you know what? I didn't want her to give up. You got to keep going. You got to keep trying. A lot of people fail on the first try. You just don't give up. You know what I mean? Anyway, he tries to cheer her up. He takes her home. And, the next day he tries to give her a little pep talk and everything. Listen, they didn't mention on the follow-up about him and her getting busted, allegedly stealing at the Walmart, and Julian getting arrested. Maybe they're saving it for next season because they're going to be on Life After Lockup. We find out that Julian is still in search of a job. That's probably why they was allegedly stealing at the Walmart. Anyway, Christine is going to give stand-up comedy a second chance. I think she should go to some of those comedy workshops or those improv workshops or something. Julian has introduced Christine to his daddy, but he has still not introduced Christine to them kids, and I don't blame him. Not a tiny bit. Anyway, Christine, don't give up. Get some of those comedy workshops. Go to some different stand-up places and just be an audience member. Watch those ladies and gentlemen work the stage. You know what? Befriend one of them. See if they'll help you, give you a few tips. You got to get out there and do what you can. Don't give it up if it's your passion. It's better than robbing banks, and it's a whole lot better than taking drugs. Keep going. Now, honey, listen. Letitia and Keith. Now, honey, Keith is out. Keith is walking the streets. He is out in the streets, okay? Keith is out. She is posted all over the place. Her baby is home. Her husband is home, okay? Anyway, she's still living in Iowa. What happened to that? We gonna move to the beach. We gonna move to the beach. Lies. Anyway, they are still in Iowa. She got a little rental place in Iowa, and she got arrested again. Okay, listen, Keith is going to be out walking the streets with his new woman, and she going to be in the jail. Okay, stop doing crime so that y'all can stay home together. Anyway, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.